called Frosty Dinghy, and I'm the dolphin, and you're the flounder.
Well, I guess. I think it should be Dr. Parker, but...
It's called Frosty Dinghy, and I'm the dolphin, and you're the flounder.
All right, so I'll start us off again here, Kobe. Of course, we got the flounder here along with the caged dolphin for another fun episode of Frosty Dinghy. Kobe, I think we need to start with the fact that I know this comes out Tuesday morning, but it is Sunday, Mother's Day. So to start, happy Mother's Day to the greatest wife in the world, Amy, and my mom, Lee Ellen, and my mother-in-law, Barb. And even though she's not here anymore, your mom, Barb, great stories. First one wasn't as great, but funny, but not great. But aside from the initial meeting, a wonderful, wonderful lady who loved you very much. So
we will second that emotion, sir. And happy Mother's Day to everybody out there. Believe it or not, Dad and I literally had that conversation last weekend. So you were brought up again in the Mother's Day talk. So
well, that's not a surprise. Me and my wife joke that my son's best friend is our second son. And my son is actually the second son to his best friend's parents because he is the only son that they have also. So we refer to him as our second son. I kind of feel like I was the same way for your parents in the short time that I really got the chance to hang around them.
Yeah, no, you definitely were high on their favorite people list. And believe it or not, they liked you more than me most of the time, which I made it easy. So
well, there might have been a reason why the first meeting was rough. It probably wasn't all Barb.
No, it was 90% my fault. It's okay. We got by it.
So I think we need to start by going back here a little bit, Kobe.
Oh, we're going in reverse.
We need to. We're not going very far in reverse, just a little bit.
That's kind of scary. The past is never a good place.
To start, I picked up a bottle yesterday.
Is that the old Iowa distillery?
Yes, Iowa Distillery. It's the 1858 Iowa State Vodka. It was like $27, 30 with tax or whatever. It is fantastic.
And does that mean that you're drinking Fresca?
It indeed does.
I thought we made a rule that there's no Fresca on the podcast. So
I don't remember anything about we.
Oh no, it was directly directed at you.
Oh. So, anyways, yes, I maybe have made one, but I'm going to stick with the one. But it is fantastic. It is everything he said it was. I highly recommend it. I probably will not buy anything else. I couldn't find the Zone vodka, which I think is the same. I can't imagine it's any better than this vodka. Because this
I think it's just
fantastic.
Different labeling, but I'm not sure. I will have to follow up with Dirty Dursky on that one.
It is absolutely fantastic. I had the first one yesterday, and of course I started with just taking a shot to just taste it. Amazing.
It tastes like spicy water, huh?
10 out of 10. We'll recommend. We'll drink again,
and probably we'll drink it into the next level. I'm sure.
Maybe not tonight. I gotta be at work at 6:30 in the morning. So hey.
Oh, work! Did I hear work?
Yes, I started the Iowa DOT last Friday. 2 days ago. So yeah, we'll be driving around one of the big orange trucks during the snow and ice storms, and trying to make sure everybody gets home safe during those days. So
and you'll be wearing shorts and a t-shirt.
Not anymore. That's not me anymore, man. It'll probably be fleece lined jeans and Carhartt bibs and a Carhartt coat and overalls, and it's anymore. I can't do the cold anymore like I used to.
It's because you are getting old. I am not. You are getting old.
That could distinctly be. So we are going to go back a little bit further.
Oh, Jesus.
This is all good things. So
okay.
I have previously said that I had never done a brisket.
So you've done a brisket now.
This week I did a brisket. It did not take near as long as I thought it would. I had it set for 270 degrees. Apparently that was higher than what I was planning for the hours I was planning for it to cook.
And it's supposed to go at like 225 to 250?
I've seen different things. My Pit Boss XL, it goes from like 200 to 225 to 255 to 250, and then goes up by 10-degree implements to 300. So you can't hit 275. It's 270 or 280. I maybe should have tried to try a lower temperature. Probably would have been a good idea. I did not. I would say this. So, you got to use a binder. You can't underseason one of these pieces of meat, right? You got to overseason it. You have to. So usually if I do pork, I like to use olive oil, avocado oil, something clear, just to kind of hold it on there, not take away from the taste. Not really add to the taste. It doesn't need it. For this brisket, I went crazy. I used the Midwest staple Dorothy Lynch dressing.
No, Dorky Ranch. Old Dorky Ranch.
It turned out great. It really did. I did not realize the number one ingredient in Dorothy Lynch salad dressing was actually tomato soup. Which then, once you start to think about it, you're like, oh yeah, I can definitely taste the tomato soup.
Yeah, I've never been on that, so I don't know what it tastes that like anymore. It's been 19 years since I've had it.
But yeah, so I cooked it up, and I don't know. I got done cooking it. We're eating it, and I looked at Amy, and I said, I think I'd rather just have done a pork loin, which I had just done 2 days prior. And she looks at me and she's like, are you fucking serious? This is delicious. So maybe I am my own worst critic.
You are
Amy and Charlotte really loved it. I thought at the time, yeah, it's okay. I will say this. I had some leftovers from yesterday, and I put them in our air fryer deal just to warm them up rather than the microwave. And there was it was crispy bits of brisket that was coming off.
The burn ends?
Well, no, I mean,
the burn edges.
Yeah, kind of, but not really. I mean, these were like strands, like muscle strands. If I could figure out just how to make those to put on salads and shit, that would be fantastic. I mean, I don't know if anybody's ever thought about putting crispy brisket parts on a salad before, but that would be my kind of salad.
Have you never been to Texas? Brisket goes on salads.
I have. I've never had brisket. Like I said, I've never had brisket salad. But I'm not talking cube brisket. I'm talking.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
The way I had this, it was how French onions, the French onions are, for
the little stringy things.
Yeah.
It's basically, you're talking about putting shredded cheese on it, but it's brisket.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Sort of. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. 100% loved that. And then to finish off for the smoking for the week, I just got done with the 3 racks of baby back ribs for Mother's Day. So we've already ate. One of them turned out, in my eyes, perfect. 2 of them, in my eyes, turned out a little overcooked, but I really am hard on my ribs. I consider myself pretty good at cooking ribs, so if I don't have them perfect, I'm pretty hard on myself. So,
well, your definition of perfect and other people's, I'm sure, is not quite the same.
Right. The one rack, I was able to just grab the bone, wiggle it out. The other one, I had to work a little bit at, and the other one was a little tougher than that. So, I mean, they ate fine. They're just more cooked than I would.
Just got a little bit done on you on one side?
Yeah, it's, I think I had it too close to the center of the pellet grill, right there where the firebox is. Got too hot right over it and kind of crunched the bottom side of those. But it was saved. By the time I put them in foil and add the butter and stuff, it softened them up enough where there was no doubt they're edible. So,
well, I highly doubt you'll get fired from cooking in your family anyway, because they seem to like it. So
yeah, I can do that. It works out well. So yeah, I fired up the Pit Boss XL 3 times this week. And then last week we bought one of those real nice 4-burner griddles, outside griddles. The
Blackstone.
Yeah, this isn't brand name Blackstone. It's the Sam's Club special, but it works great. I burned the shit out of my finger, so I'm kind of waiting, but I'll be breaking that out tomorrow to make Phillies on. So
I've never understood the need for one, but apparently a lot of people have that need.
It's fantastic. It really is. So yeah, it's going to be a fun week. I got a full 5 days of work coming up, 40 hours for people that understand that. It's kind of nice. DOT right now, most places are in their summer hours, so they work 4 9-hour days, and then they have a 4-hour day on Friday. So my first day was literally like a half day. I'm like, oh, hell yeah. But it was pretty cool. I like it. And then next weekend, I'm preparing to probably take it down Thursday, get the camper down to Hancock, Iowa.
Well, as long as you stay away from Dursky, you'll be fine there too.
And yeah, we'll. I know me and my wife will be at the campground. We'll see how many kids decide to stay or not. It's been when we first got the camper, we basically lived in that first summer. That was COVID summer. There was nothing you could really do. Camping was the one thing you could do. In that first summer we lived in it, and then lately it's been hit or miss. It never helped in my previous job. I worked Saturdays, so it made it a little bit more difficult anyways. Maybe this summer we'll spend a little bit more time in the camper again, which would be awesome, but it'll be coming back out. Oh, like I said, I'll probably take it out Thursday. That way I get
Thursday for the weekend.
Yeah. Probably won't stay in the Thursday night, but it'll go down Thursday. Friday when I get off work, I'll go right down. I'll come here, probably shower, grab the dogs, and then head down. That'll be that.
Meet everybody else there, or are they going to ride with you?
My guess is everybody else will be coming down separately. It's right now we are a family of 5 and we have 4 vehicles, and that's usually how we travel to most things is 4 vehicles. It's kind of funny.
Can't even ride with the wife.
Every chance I get. It was great today. We woke up. We had to go. We actually went up to the Baumgars up north and got Amy's mom Mother's Day gift, and then we had a couple graduation parties to go to today. So got a lot of good quality time with her today.
I am past the graduation parties, finally.
And
it's different when they're not your kids, though, or your kids' friends or something like that.
Well, just so you know, you're probably going to have one to go to next year.
Outstanding.
But
so I'm not past them.
No, you're definitely on the invite list. But it'll be a doubleheader. You'll get 2 kids out of the one party because I got twins.
There you go. Yeah, that's how you got to compact it and make it, financially viable right there. 2-for-1 specials. So throwing it back to your brisket talk real quick.
Yeah.
Take your brisket for 24 hours and cover it in Dr. Pepper. Soak it in Dr. Pepper for 24 hours before you throw it on.
Okay.
That is a Texas trick.
So
it softens it up and it keeps it moister and it gives it a not weird, but a better flavoring.
So I did, like the night before, day before, whatever, I seasoned it all up, put in the fridge, and let it just kind of let the dry rub soak in it was probably a good 12 hours or so.
Did you mustard it up too?
No, I used the Dorothy Lynch dressing instead of mustard for the binder.
The old Dorky Lynch. I keep forgetting that. All right, back to your camper talk.
Yeah.
2 things. 1, where are you going in Hancock?
It's called Botany Bend Park. It is a Pottawatomie County park. Actually, it's really kind of cool. It's got campground. They have buffalo there you can go look at. They got elk. They got a couple decent playgrounds for the kids. And I tell you one, the last 5 years, this park has really gotten a lot better. It really has. The last year they put in some full utility sites that have the water, sewer. A lot of the sites just 2 years ago were still on grass. And now there's a lot of concrete. I think the only thing that's not concrete now is the very far back, which actually is pretty spectacular to still camp in. And being people have camped in that area for the last 50 years with campers, it's all relatively flat. But it's a nice campground. I enjoy it. There's no lake, the Nishnabotna River goes around it, so if the water is high enough, the kids can go fish and they might get some shit out of there. But it's not a lake, not even a pond.
Yeah, it's not like you're not going to like a big ass lake to go swimming and boating and stuff like that. It's just an out of the way nature trip.
Yeah, but it's really it's a great campground. So I'm looking forward to it.
And then the second thing was reminding you that the camper needs to be ready to roll in July on the 19th.
Still got to get approval from the world's greatest wife on that, but yeah.
So did
I'm
that
hoping
email
to
go through correctly? Because I don't know how to send calendar invites.
So that thing came through as an Excel, which I do not have Microsoft Excel. So just send me
How do
the
you
date.
not have Excel? Okay.
Because I don't.
Who
I
doesn't
don't
have
use.
Microsoft?
I use Google. I use the
Oh my
Google
God.
machine.
I do not use the goggle. I did, although I did just on a little bit different thing. I did get Grok. But I'm not going to pay the $30 a month just so it talks to me in that sexy voice that it can do it now. I'm not going to date my phone, sadly.
Well, you know.
Might be a better option. Just saying. So, what other outstanding vacations have you been on recently that, or in the past, that
So
you think need to shine for that area?
well, as far as like vacations I've been on, there's only so much down here in Southwest Iowa. A couple of my favorite vacations I ever took. It would have been probably about 2006, I think, February. I went up to Lake of the Woods, went for ice fishing. Was on the Canadian side. My uncle owns a cabin up there on an island. So it was a long drive up there. Then we get to where we finally left the vehicles, and then we had like a 10-mile snowmobile ride to the island, which is great. Don't get me wrong. I love snowmobiling. That was a blast. One of those things, they actually plow roads onto the ice just so people
That
can
way you
drive
can
out
just
there.
drive right through there?
Yep. But still, occasionally you hit open ice, hit open water. But if you're going full blower on the snowmobile, you just slide right over it anyways. You never know. So
Or
ice
you
fishing,
go slower than that and you drop through the hole and nobody knows either.
right? Yeah. Either way, that
Yeah.
one's not as good. I've heard,
Yeah.
or I haven't.
I've heard that's a bad idea.
But so yeah, I really enjoyed a trip up to ice fishing up on Lake of the Woods. I've heard it's spectacular in summer. We were up there, like I said, it was February, and we were blessed. There was like no winds. It was 20s. We're out there during daylight hours, and I was literally wearing like my Carhartt bibs and a hoodie, and didn't even have on a coat or a hat. It was fantastic. We had ice huts, but it was so nice outside. You didn't want to be in them. You wanted to be outside. So I highly recommend Canada ice fishing. If you drive across, you do not need a passport. You can just get one of the passport cards if you drive. If you fly, you have to have the actual passport book. Same thing with Mexico.
Yeah, both of which I try to stay out of anymore. I've been to Mexico. I went down there on a business trip. It was fun. I drank a lot of tequila. Imagine that.
Shocked.
I may or may not have broke a propane fireplace at the hotel by tossing the rocks that people had been pulling out, those little charcoal rocks.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was tossing them back in and I hit the igniter, which knocked the flame out for the whole thing.
Whoops.
Yeah. Well, the people that were there with me on the work trip went ahead and told the GM of the company in the middle of a meeting that I was causing problems breaking stuff at the hotel. So I got yelled at in the meeting when basically all I did was tell them to light it again, and they lit it and it was fine. So I don't know. You never know.
Yeah.
But Mexico was all right. It's not a place I want to live. Not a place that I probably won't ever leave the United States again. I've been to Canada. I've been to Mexico. I spent 31 days in Turkey. Yeah, I've been to Germany.
So I remember seeing highlights of your Turkey trip on the Facebook. Tell me a little bit about Turkey. What you do over there?
So I got sent by the company I work for to go over there and help teach them how to build what we were building over here because it was a new upstart company. So they sent me through Germany to Alkensack. Pretty sure that's where I was. Not Istanbul. It was right down from it. More like the tourist side is where they put us. So when we got off the plane, normal of what you do when you get off a plane is you go exploring, right? And I was with a kid that had never been out of Iowa before. So we started just walking circles, and the circles started getting bigger and bigger and bigger until we were in neighborhoods we had no business being in because we were out of the tourist side, right? And we were in narrow little hallways with like the shopping centers and stuff you see in movies and stuff like that. The hotel, like the old school movies. We were in stuff like that we had no business being in whatsoever. And we were trying to get out of there, people trying to follow us and asking us for stuff and trying to get us to come down hallways and look at their rugs and all the stuff you're not supposed to do as a tourist. We were doing it. We ended up at Alexander the Great's castle, which we weren't supposed to be at, and all over the area. And we get to work like on day 4, and HR wants to have a meeting with us. I'm like, okay, let's go. So me and this kid sit down, and HR's like, all right, well, here's some of the places that you might want to see. And they got a great statue, which I had pictures of. And they have like a big temple-like thing that I'd already taken pictures of. And she's like, here's some of the areas that you don't want to go to. And she starts listing them off. She gets to the 4th one, and I'm laughing so hard that she finally goes, what's so funny? I'm like, been there, got pictures of that. I bought a hoodie that says Chicago Cubs at that one. And this is the one where we almost got kidnapped at. She's like, I'm Turkish and I've never been there. She goes, can you take me? So not only did we not get in trouble, we had to take HR out around the places that she'd never been in her own town, which was great. But there was I can't remember the name of the restaurant at all, but he loved all of the people from America that were there. So whenever we came into the restaurant, he was over the top, enthusiastic and bending over backwards for us because we paid a lot, we tipped a lot, and we definitely drank a lot. But he had this homemade sauce that I have never tasted anything like it before. It was, I don't think it was tomato based, but it looked like it was. And we put it on everything. But he would let us bring whatever container that we wanted anytime, and he would fill it up. So if we walked in with a gallon jug, he'd fill up a gallon of the sauce, and we'd just leave. It didn't cost anything. He just let us take it. So everywhere we went, we'd pull out a jug and dump that on the crap that we were eating. Because 90% of the food there was okay, but it wasn't exceptional. But if you put that sauce on it, it made everything better.
So it's kind of like queso. Queso makes everything better.
Yeah, sort of like queso. So one of these nights in Turkey, we had left the hotel after drinking Efes, which is the greatest beer ever. Like, it's the best beer I've had in my entire life. But we'd been drinking Efes, and they actually have the green fairy there from Eurotrip, the absinthe that actually has no restrictions on it like you can get in the United States. Yes. We'd been drinking that, which I never did see the green fairy, so it's bullshit. But
this absinthe is bullshit.
Yeah.
You made out with your sister, man.
But we'd gone out and we started going bar hopping, right? And we finally found this bar that was geared towards America, or at least we thought it was, but it was American cinema. So they had like the movie reels and stuff everywhere, and Marilyn Monroe, and they made hamburgers that were horrible, and everything in there was American based. But they had great prices, they had great beer, they took really good care of us. And when we got home that night, we had to be to work in like 2 hours, so we had to get on the bus and go to work. When we came back, we could not find that place again, ever. It was gone. And we walked everywhere looking for this place. So finally, I'm like, okay, here's what we're going to do. And I told the kid with me, I'm like, you're not allowed to drink. I'm going to get drunk, and we're going to go straight to the bar. It's like, that won't work. I'm like, we've done this before, and you've been there with me when I've done this before. My legs just take me places. So I get drunk, and he starts following me, and I walk through a construction zone straight to the front door of the bar. That's why we couldn't find it. The street was closed off, and we weren't supposed to be there. So what we'd done was we had a few too many. We went through a construction site in a foreign country to find a bar, and then we drank there almost every night. It's a good time.
Nice. So I would say American restaurants in foreign lands, I think they kind of all have that in common, that it's like American food's a myth to them. One of my favorite episodes of Ted Lasso, season 3, when they're in Amsterdam and he goes to the American restaurant.
Yeah. And that's where he finds his first ever football play that he draws.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fantastic episode. I love every bit of it. But yeah, I think people have a complete misunderstanding of what American food is. But anyways, so while you were in Turkey, did you Did you have a middle-aged white guy who is divorced teach you how to shoot pistols for the Olympics? Because that
I did
guy
not.
was a badass.
I did not.
Did
But
you
I
see
did.
that this past summer?
No, yeah, I definitely saw the Olympics where
Oh.
he was just like standing there with his hand in his pocket, cooking the grill,
Just dead eye. I mean, everybody else had on their funny glasses and all this other shit, and he's like, pink, just pegging shit. It was great.
So we did end up going, the last day that I was there, the workers who did not speak a lick of English at all, the translator kid ended up getting so high that he couldn't communicate in either language. He just sat in the back of the van. And we ended up going up this mountain to the top, right? And we'd figure out multiple times of hanging out with these guys how to communicate without being able to speak each other's language. Because we'd gone to the neighborhoods that we're not supposed to be in and all that stuff and hung out with them before. But we end up in this mountaintop village that make wine. That's what they do. The whole village's purpose is to make wine and sell it while they're there. So we ended up there partying for a while, drinking the wine, ran into a couple other people that work up there that worked with us. They were up there. And then these guys didn't want us to leave. And they kidnapped us and took us to Istanbul. And at one point in Istanbul, we were outside of a bar in a back alley.
Bad bull.
Yeah. We were in a back alley behind a bar punching one of those punching bag machines because they were all out there hitting it and it was held down with sandbags and they wanted the Americans to hit it and they were betting on us on what numbers we could hit higher than until I knocked the machine over on accident because their sandbags wouldn't hold it down and it was on a slant and it just went rolling down the hill. So we had to run.
So I know it's no longer Turkey now. How do you know how that country's actually said now? Turkey or some shit like that.
It's Turkey.
I thought they changed it.
They can change it all they want, but it's Turkey.
Turkey, but it's okay. It's just spelled different now. It's not spelled like the bird.
I don't know. I don't know how they spell it. I don't look at that side of the map anymore because I have no ambition to go there again. I loved it there. It was a great time, and I was going to end up staying like 4 months there, but it was definitely different. When you go somewhere and as you're walking there, you go past a police station and there's 3 or 4 guys outside and holding MP5s.
Yeah.
Or like one night we were all dressed in nice clothes and they won the Alcansac whatever team won the championship in soccer, football, and rioters started going through the street, just cheering and having a great time, and they started chasing us because we were foreigners. So we went and put on our Iowa clothing, which is flip-flops, shorts, cut-off t-shirts, backwards hats, and they left us alone after that. They let us party with them. But the fact that they thought we were I think they might have played Germany, and they thought we might have been German. They were going to get us. But when we came out as Americans, we fit.
All right.
They were like, hey, here's a beer. Here's this. Here's shots. Let's go.
So there's a lot of areas over there I think that would be very neat to see. Greece seems like one of those places that's probably amazing. Italy, just Rome and Vatican City in general, I think is pretty awesome. One that I've kind of been looking into lately has been Malta.
Malta, huh?
I'm not even sure how it's a country, to be honest with you. It is like an island on the south of Italy. I think it's south of Italy. I don't know if Malta is part of Italy. It might be like Sicily is like an island too. I'm not sure if Sicily is technically part of Italy.
Sicily's it's part of Italy, I believe.
But yeah, so Malta is like right in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea. Like it's south of Italy, it's west of Tunisia, Algeria, that area, north of Libya, which scary fucking place. But I just think that'd be a neat area to see. I mean, as much history is there.
Malta is an independent island nation in the Mediterranean Sea south of Italy. It is a separate country with its own government, culture, and history.
Nailed it. So
There you
yeah,
go.
I think that would be an amazing. I don't know. I don't know if I'd want to live on an island. I guess maybe if I won Powerball, I could live on Maui. But like, I think that'd be a real neat place to see. Like I said, Rome. I would really like to see Rome. Just the ancient ruins and shit. I think would be cool. If we're going in America, places I haven't been that I would like to see. I'm not a history buff. I'm a history enjoyer.
Enthusiast.
Yeah, I don't even know if I'm an enthusiast, but I'd like to see Philadelphia. I'd like to see DC. I'd like to see Boston. I don't know about New York City. I don't know if I care enough.
There's only one part of New York City I want to see, and that would be the tribute to the Twin Towers. That's it.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That's the only, and maybe the
I'd like to
Christmas
see-
tree.
Yeah, I'd like to see Ellis Island. I think that'd be interesting. I mean, there's stuff there. Don't get me wrong. I think it'd be cool to see, but
So if we end up going to New York City, are you gonna Will Smith me to Ellis Island like you did on Hitch? Get some jet skis, take me out there.
I guess
Have you
I
never
don't
seen
remember
Hitch?
Oh, I've seen Hitch. I just don't remember the scene.
It's where he kicks her off the jet ski, kicks her in the head, knocks her off the jet ski, and she finds out that. And he finds out that her uncle was like the butcher of Cadiz or whatever.
Oh shit! I do remember. So
It was their first date.
Yeah. Do you watch Yellowstone or have you watched Yellowstone?
I've watched all of Yellowstone.
Did you watch the 1942 or whatever the fuck it was?
No, it's too slow.
Oh my God. So I admit, like, and I say I enjoy history, but so in the second season, the one Dutton's girlfriend, who's from Britain, comes across on an ocean liner, and she has to go through Ellis Island, and the shit she was put through was terrible. And like I admitted to Amy, I'm like, why did they make this shit up? It's terrible. She's like, no, this is shit that happened to them. You know, it's and to hear that and think about that, it's like, fuck, we are terrible fucking humans.
It was a different time. We can't take accountability for stuff that happened back then. You can't.
No.
The only people that can are the people that did it.
So I would say this, going back into history here, we have which I'm going to continue to show off because this is great.
You found a new baby.
I did. I don't know if I will ever buy another vodka again. It is fantastic. And this is how I'm serious about this. I have had to buy that bottle. So it's not like I'm saying this for free. It cost me money to say that this is the best bottle of vodka I've ever had.
Yeah, it cost you, what, the $32 or whatever it was?
Yeah, right about. Whereas this is the greatest T-shirt I've ever owned. But it was
the
given
frosty
to me. So
dinghy?
so I feel like I have to say that, whether I believe it or not.
Well, you are on the Frosty Dinghy podcast, sir.
So if you want me to say your shit is the best ever, just send me the shit for free.
That is a good philosophy, sir.
So if Train, if you want to try to sell some air conditioning units on the Frosty Dinghy show, send me an air conditioner. I will install it and see how great it is.
Oh, that's funny. I just I sent your favorite vodka guy a message and told him he needs to jump on for a minute. And then he can leave. But wait, we got to get this. So I just sent it. He's like, I'm grilling. Like, just fucking do it for a quick cameo for your vodka.
So he did like my TikTok that I put up. It was just a single picture of the bottle with a glass mixed with Fresca.
Oh, now I got to figure out how to.
Is perfection.
Bitch, he's got the link. Thought I sent it to him already. Where'd it go? Where's the link? How do I get links?
I don't fuck.
Me either. Thought I had this.
So you can figure out a way to cut this in.
There it is. I figured it out.
So my first day at work yesterday was Friday, right?
Yep.
And I fucked up. The boss man's having problems with his computer, right? And he is getting ready to call IT help for something that is like one of the most simple problems in the history of computers. And so I stopped him. I said, "Hey, do this." I said, "Right click on the screen anywhere." And I walked him through the process. He has dual monitors, and his monitors were backwards, right? The setup was backwards. So in order to go from the left monitor to the right monitor, he had to scroll left, which was fucked up. So I walked him through fixing that, and all of a sudden he's very happy. He's like, "Sweet, we finally have an IT guy here." And I'm like, "I just fucked up.
Yes, you
I've been
did.
here 17 minutes and I fucked up.
That'll do it.
We're going to be getting like speakers, and I'm going to be asked to install the motherfuckers."
And you are like the least technical person that I know.
Oh, it's terrible.
You probably had to DIY it on fucking
No,
Google.
I actually knew that because at my previous employment, I had 2 monitors, and if we didn't lock our computers, people had the fun idea of fucking with your monitors, and they would like set them up funny, so it was a pain in the ass to try to get them switched from one monitor to the other. So I knew exactly how to fix it. So
See, we used to screenshot your background and then lock your computer and put that on your window so you couldn't click anything. So you're trying to click all this crap on your screen, and
So-
it just don't go nowhere.
so that's pretty good. One of the better ones I saw was one of the other guys bought a wireless mouse, and they hooked it up to the guy's computer. And so while he would be working and clicking on shit, he would take his wireless mouse and just randomly move it on him. And so that mouse would fucking jump, and he'd be like, "What in the fuck is going on, Tursky?"
There he is. Look at that.
Here he is.
How's grilling going, buddy?
Good.
So we had a
that-
question about your vodka, so
I got
we
that
had to bring you back
1858,
on.
huh? All right.
Is this
Hit me.
the same as the Zone vodka, just in a different bottle?
Yes.
Okay, because I was
Hey.
going to say, and I am
Put the
I
bottle
admit-
back on the screen while you're talking.
so I admit fully, I don't know how you could possibly make a vodka that is better than this.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you saying that.
This is the smoothest vodka
As I'm
I
wearing
have
this
ever.
shirt, as you catch
Yeah.
me in this shirt.
Whatever, I don't care.
That's great.
I told Kobe, I said, this is not a paid advertisement because I bought this bottle of vodka. So I guess it
Yeah.
was paid by me.
Yeah, that's fair.
It is absolutely wonderful. I think I have found my new camping vodka by
Yeah.
far. It
Yep.
is tremendous. I
Told ya.
couldn't find the Zone vodka. I found this. I was at the Hy-Vee liquor store thing there in
Right.
Harlan. And I found it. I saw the Prairie Fire and some of the other stuff at Fairway,
Mhm.
but I really wanted to try the vodka. It is fantastic.
I'm glad you tried it. Yeah. No, I'm glad that you went out, you seeked it out yourself. If there's a past tense for seek, I'm not sure what it is. Don't say it out loud, Kobe. I know what's going on in your brain. But I'm glad that you went out to find it, because we talked about it a bit in that last episode, and I was bragging it up pretty hard. So the fact that you went out, found it, and then had that question. So that's a tricky question to answer, and I hate answering it. But in all honesty, yes, the liquid in the bottle is the same. It goes through the same filtration process. It goes through the same ozone process. It's the only vodka in the nation that is ozone purified. And that 1858 is the only, it's the only vodka for sure. But when you set it up for NIL and for being able to kick back to the university and things like that, it's the only one that not only kicks back to their NIL, but it kicks back to the university athletic department as well. So
Nice.
it not only helps out the players, but it helps out the school. So when you buy it, you're paying for both. So that's kind of the benefit of that.
Yeah, so I fully admit this is fantastic. I admitted last time I like vodka. It is, I mean, Mr. Jack Daniels is maybe my favorite ever, but vodka is a very close second, and this is fantastic. I love
Yep.
it.
So
So-
what'd you think? Like, I know that when I described it, I told you that it goes invisible as soon as you put it in with something. And you guys sent me that the TikTok that you had made about doing it with Fresca.
Yes.
So you dumped that in with some Fresca. You took that first drink. What were your expectations? And then
Well-
what were your initial thoughts?
I was expecting to taste vodka like you always do. You know, when you said that this is spicy water,
Spicy water.
you know, it's like when you buy bottled water, every bottled water has a different flavor. Dasani has a distinct flavor.
Oh, yeah. Everybody knows that.
You know, Aquafina has a distinct flavor. Absolute Vodka has a distinct flavor. Tito's has a distinct flavor.
Yep.
This is like flavorless. This is scentless, flavorless, and it is the most lethal poison in the history of man.
Oh, yeah.
It'll
get you.
This powder you do not smell or you do not smell.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. I absolutely am enjoying it. I was telling Kobe earlier, I'm camping next weekend, and my guess is I'll have another bottle down there.
Yep.
Did
you try it straight?
I did. Initially, I just tried it straight.
Yep. To see what it was like?
Yes, and I can tell you it's drinking.
There he goes.
No reaction.
It's that smooth.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yep.
I could sit here and just drink this on the rocks like I do a good bourbon.
But I'd have to stop recording.
It's so good.
Undoubtedly.
It would only last for so long.
So the reason that I was so adamant about you coming in here, Mr. Dursky, was the fact that all of those questions he's been trying to get me to answer all day. So I figured the best way to do it is go straight to the source and give you some honest feedback on your product. So
yep, absolutely.
Absolutely fantastic. You see, I repped it on TikTok with my one. That is now my second ever TikTok.
I saw that when I added you as a friend.
That and my joke about, you know, only air drumming with one arm as a school bus driver. Only listen to Def Leppard. But
no, it's awesome.
Don't air drum to Def Leppard as a school bus driver while drinking the 1858.
That's a horrible.
I'm glad you threw that disclaimer in there because it would have been high on everybody's list. Yeah,
safety first.
Yeah, absolutely.
But no, I am absolutely enjoying this. Thank you for letting me know about this because this is an amazing vodka. Yeah,
and the zone's a couple bucks cheaper because it doesn't kick back to the school. So if you want to support. Obviously support. That's the way to go. That's why we did that. But if you want that without necessarily giving to, I don't know if you're a Hawkeye fan or not, or if you're giving to an enemy team, or if you're on the fence about it. But if you want to also help some people get through life, buy the more expensive bottle.
Well, and I'll say this. When I was at the Hy-Vee Wine and Spirits, and it was the manager's pick of the week.
Cool. Good.
So it was like there was the sign underneath that said like Rick's pick of the week, and that's
awesome.
Right there.
Good to know that we're being repped like that because we don't have sales reps that can go everywhere and see all of this stuff. So just hearing that feedback, like I can run that up the chain and just let them know what's going on. Like that's terrific to hear.
Well, hey, for a random bottle here and there, I'll go into random stores and see if your stuff's in there.
There you go. Perfect. Just go in and ask for it. Just be like, hey, do you guys have this stuff? And they'll be like, I don't know. And then they have to walk around and look for it. And if they don't have it, they know they need to order it.
Well,
there you go.
And admittedly, I checked the local Fairway first.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw the Prairie Fire, and I believe it was Rope Burn. Is that right?
Mm-mm.
No?
Prairie Fire, Saints and Sinners, Steel Drum Rum.
Saints and Sinners, that's what it was.
The Apple Pie.
Yeah, that's close to Rope Burn.
Whatever.
Yeah. I don't have a bottle of it up here because that stuff needs to be refrigerated. I like drinking some of these neat, and even shots of Prairie Fire, I'll take it room temperature, but the Saints and Sinners, that's got to be chilled.
That makes sense.
It definitely tastes better when it's cold, but Prairie Fire, I like it at room temperature, if not a little
Prairie
warmer.
Fire,
do a little hot toddy with the Prairie Fire.
Yeah,
you bet.
There you go.
I like it. So anyways, I just wanted to say this is awesome. It is now my drink of choice currently.
Perfect.
I don't know if I will find another one for a while because
Golf Water has ruined our podcast. Thank you very much, Mr. Dursky.
Keep buying it. Keep drinking it. I got to get back to Mother's Day. I got to finish grilling.
You betcha, buddy. Thanks for stopping by.
Oh, we just got burgers.
All right. I did baby backs this morning. I got baby backs, so.
Yeah. Perfect.
Nice.
All right, fellas. Happy to help.
Back to the grill with you.
All right. See you later.
Later, man.
Later. All right. Awesome.
So there you go.
Special guest spot by the Dursky.
The Dirty Dursky made an appearance for his vodka.
So,
and I don't think that you possibly could have talked more fluently about anything else on this podcast today other than that vodka. I'm just saying.
It's my second love.
You're halfway. And you got the color changing cup, so I know exactly how much you're drinking, and I appreciate that.
Yeah,
You don't have a clue how much I'm drinking, so we're good.
No, you got that 19 or well, probably a 2022 Longhorns cup I see with the paint chipping off of it.
And look, they put my name on it.
I can't see it. Maybe it'll come in on the other video.
Yeah, it might. You never know. I'll probably keep my real name off of it. Not.
So,
all right.
Other vacation spots.
Other vacation spots. So I'm gonna go ahead and get into the history of the dinghy a bit.
Yeah.
Even though the other gentleman has not joined yet, or if he's going to, he said he just got his internet back and it's been going out all day, and the U.S. Cellular's been having issues. So not really sure what's going on there, but it is Altoona, which I've been to Altoona a couple times. It sounds about par for the course. But how the Frosty Dinghy originally started was because of a vacation. My friend went down to Destin, Florida. Have you ever heard of Destin, Florida?
No.
It's apparently one of the most popular places for Midwesterners to go on vacation. And they have like Crab Island and stuff like that, where it's a sand island that's 4 feet underneath the water. So everybody goes out there and parties because you're walking around in 4 foot deep water everywhere. And they pull boats out there that serve food and drinks and all kinds of stuff. Well, there were boats down there that look like floating tiki bars.
Nice.
They were literally floating hexagons with tiki bars in the middle of them. And he came back with that story about how he was supposed to go on this boat, but it got rained out. So he got stuck at an island at the water bar, and the captain was there. And he got talking to the captain about the boat and about the business and all of that, about how they went out. And he came back from Destin with the story about the boat. So I did research and I found out it was investable, that you can actually buy a franchise on it. And I'm like, well, that sounds awesome. That's what we're going to do. I'm set on it. We started a business together, and I went back to school to get entrepreneurship classes done and learn how to run a business and all of that. And then I also scheduled trips down to Dallas, Texas, and go to Lake Ray Hubbard and actually ride on the boats, talk to the captains, pick their brain, do everything I can while I was there, and learned about the entire business from them, and then came back and contacted the mother company and had it down to where there was 3 days left before we signed papers, and it fell through with the bank. So that's when we changed gears, and we leaned towards the new model that we have, where it's pontoon boats, and I own the company now, and we're going to go that route and still keep it with the same destination and vacation vibe like it's down in Destin, where you get to go out and there's an island or a sandbar or something like that, right? Because those are the kinds of vacations you want as a family, is you go spend the time on the water and you enjoy yourself in a unique situation. So that was the Destin vacation that started the whole Frosty Dinghy process that's been going on since. So what we need to do is create another Destin, basically, in a different location. Does it make sense?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And it's amazing how these people love to do things on the water all around. I know I believe you went on more than at least one, if not more, trips with our former boss at the local watering hole down to Lake of the Ozarks, Party Cove.
I never got to go.
Oh, well,
I never ended. I never ended up at the Lake of the Ozarks.
But everybody talks about it. And, it's always a different cove, and they keep moving around, and everybody gets together and ties their boats up, and it's a giant party.
I've been down there other times without the localing water hole being present, so it was definitely entertaining.
It's always an enjoyment, and everybody loves being in the water. Let's be honest. That's my favorite place ever is still northern Minnesota at the cabin. It's lakes and boats.
See, but you're a colder weather fan than me. My favorite vacations are to go to beaches where it's 120 degrees and play in the water.
So my next one was South Padre, and that was July. Doesn't get much hotter than South Padre in July. And it was hot, but I could survive down there fine. Another vacation that I personally love, another spot that I love to go, Seattle, Washington.
Seattle.
Yes.
Why Seattle?
There's all kinds of things to do in Seattle. My wife is originally from Washington. It was because of her that I ever went out there. I love it. You're on the west side of the mountain, so it gets all kinds of rain. So it's called the Emerald City for a reason. It's green. It's green. Yeah, does it rain every day? Basically, yes. But it rained every day when we were on Maui, too. It's just that usually it's a 15, 20-minute rain, and then it's done, right? Yeah, there's some days it rains all day, but whatever. All kinds of things to do in Seattle. One of my favorites was the Space Needle.
You went up the Needle, huh?
Oh yeah, it's amazing. The top that goes around in a circle, it takes, I don't know, it's like 45 minutes to an hour. If you're to stand in one place, you'd be able to see the entire town eventually. I mean, of course, you can just walk around a lot quicker. I've been up there a couple times. My favorite was actually during the nighttime. You couldn't see as well, but with all the city lights, it was amazing. I would say if I wanted to go back and do the Space Needle again, I would get nighttime tickets again. Just because it was so cool at night.
Isn't there a restaurant up there that you can eat in while you're up there?
Yep, there is a restaurant up there, and I've just recently found out now too, you can actually, rather than take the elevator back down, you can walk down all the stairs. It's like 96 flights of stairs that you can walk back down, and if you walk back down, you get a free t-shirt when you get back. They say take anywhere between typically 15 and 30 minutes, depending on how fast you're. But they said you get to enjoy those views of the city throughout the walk down, which is pretty awesome. Also, in that general area, it seems like there was the football stadium for the Washington Huskies, and the old Key Arena where the Seattle Supersonics used to play. It was right there. They have the Unirail. You can ride that around. That's pretty cool. I'm probably not going to get this distance right, but it's not that far from Pike's Market, which is where, anytime there's a football game in Seattle, you see them throwing the fish. Pike's Market is amazing. It's so much more than just the fish market. A lot of cool stuff there. Fresh fruits, flowers.
So did you get to catch one of the fish? Because I know that's one of the things that they do there, where you get the ability to catch one.
I did not do that just because I didn't want to risk smelling like a fish the rest of the day. But yeah, you go along that harbor area down there. You have the original Starbucks, which, I mean, I don't think the original Starbucks is any cooler than any of the other Starbucks, really. But it does have the actual first logo, which has the full frontal topless mermaid on it and all that. It's not edited. They're like, yeah, this is who we are.
Definitely got a picture of that, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, and I got a coffee cup from there. And it's it's like set up to make like their orders. It's a plastic cup, and it's like, cappuccino, frappuccino, first store, and it's got first store checked, which is kind of cool. The only place you can get stuff that has the initial logo is from the first store, so you have to go there to get it. That's pretty cool. Underrated thing that we did out there was the ferries. Ferries are kind of awesome. Ferry.
Yeah,
yes,
no, I got it.
Fucker.
Notice I didn't say anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm guessing we'll have 2 or 3 seconds cut there.
Nope. Nope, not this time. We're getting risque.
So yeah, the ferries are awesome. We did 2 of them when we've been up there. We did the one from Seattle, like the main port in Seattle, to I think it's Bainbridge Island or some shit like that, and back, which was cool. It's amazing how big those boats are and how many cars go on them, and they just glide across the water. The one ride, we were literally standing in the front of the ship on the car deck. They have like a cargo net going across, so you can't get too close and fall off. But we would see waves, and you just coasted right over them and didn't even rock the boat or nothing. It was just smooth. Then the other one we did, I can't remember the town that we left from, but we went up to San Juan Islands, which is where the orcas used to hang out. we didn't get to see any orcas, but we saw some seals and some shit like that. It was pretty cool. In fact, in our lamps in the living room, they're like big, empty, like glass tubes, for lack of a better term. And all the rocks and shells and stuff come from San Juan Island, which I probably shouldn't say. But then there's also, we have I assume it's probably a Dungeness crab shell that got molten or maybe just died. I don't know. In one of them, that it's just in this lamp. It's kind of cool.
That's a good place for it.
Yeah, it's just really an amazing thing, and you can go to. I think maybe it used to be an old church, but it's like the Island Whale Watch Center, and it would say the last time they've seen whales in the area and what the whales were, and like it keeps track of all that. Just amazing. If I ever win Powerball, I won't tell anybody. There'll be signs. I'll be living on San Juan Island.
I can't go north.
Here's the thing though. You're on the coast, so it's not cold. It's not Minnesota. It's not Montana. It's not Wyoming. It's different. It really is.
I bet it is. I mean, you can't compare the Northwest to the Midwest.
No, by no means. It's two completely different things. But yeah, I absolutely love Seattle area. Central Washington's cool in its own right. My wife's cousins live in Ellensburg. It's like 2 hours east of Seattle. Mount Rainier is right by Seattle, and you can see it from both. My wife's cousin and her husband, they built their house, and they have this beautiful like living room with the sloped ceilings, and dead center they have the arched windows or angled windows, and in the dead center of it is Mount Rainier. It's awesome setup, designed beautifully. But yeah,
it definitely sounds like a good time.
I absolutely love Washington. And so the very first time we were out there, we were staying at I don't know, it was like a Holiday Inn or something right next to Seattle Center where the Space Needle is at. And we asked the local counter guy, it's like, hey, where do we want to get breakfast at? And he's like, well, here's this map of the area. He says, but where you want to go is right here. And he like drew an X where the restaurant was at. He says, it's not on the map. He says, it's the best place in town, though. And it was called the Hurricane. My understanding is it's closed now, but it was a bar. But they made, I think there were like 12 egg omelets, which we had to split as a family. But I mean, just awesome. It was kind of a little bit scary. Not really scary, but like kind of. I mean, it's definitely a bar.
One of those neighborhoods, yeah.
Well, no, the neighborhood's great, but the bar itself was kind of left a lot to be desired.
So it's a hole in the walls.
Yeah, especially
where you would have been comfortable by yourself, but not with your family.
Absolutely. And honestly, I was probably comfortable with the family. I just felt like we needed to get tetanus shots. So yeah,
we love the good old dive bars around there.
Absolutely.
That all you got was the 12 egg omelet there going on, or?
Yeah, I mean, realistically, that place was awesome. Like I said, I mean, it was cool. It was called the Hurricane. I looked it up a few years later. It was closed. But I think we went back like 2 or 3 years after we went out there initially. Went back there and ate a can. It was that good.
Oh,
like
it's a shame that it went out of business then.
Well, COVID did that to a lot of places, right?
Yeah. And so did the weird tax laws and stuff that went on with the restaurants there too. That didn't help during those times where you couldn't have people sitting at certain tables, and then they were charging more money to be open, and all kinds of weird stuff.
Yeah. And what was kind of neat, it was one of the first places. It was shortly after my daughter got diagnosed with type 1 and celiac. We were able to like look up and find restaurants that were gluten-free, which was a big deal. And being in the Northwest, they're pretty, there's more of them than you would think. They're pretty, obviously, they're pretty liberal in that whole area. And that was one of the things that was glorious.
One thing that I learned is the Seattle area, especially, is predominantly becoming one of the best food places in the United States. That they're standing out for not because they're going away from tradition 100%, but they're recreating the traditional stuff into a different style where it's easier for everybody to eat, like the vegans and the gluten-free people, and but they're bringing the traditions into the new cooking.
Well, and I would say this. So, like, down there on the pier area, one of my favorite restaurants that we ate at was called Ivers. And they have an actual, like, sit-down restaurant that you can go into, or they have the walk-up restaurant that you can just order food at, and then you go out and, like, sit on the deck and eat. They had these. I ordered the scallops that were just awesome. If I was to go back there tomorrow, I would order those scallops from the same place again. What's kind of neat is you're sitting out there on the deck. I'm not a big French fry guy, so lots of my French fries went to all of the seagulls that were around there. You could hold up your French fry and they would come and fly and take it right from your fingers. You could throw them up there and they'll catch them. It was kind of fun actually, just because with the kids it gave them something to do, which meant we got to buy a second lunch later because they fed all their food to the seagulls rather than eating it. But it was a lot of fun.
What are you watching?
So I'm actually looking at Google Maps as I'm doing this, because there's so much in that area. So like down there in the Pike's Place area, Ivers, which I can't remember. I think it was like Pier 55 or whatever. They got the Seattle Aquarium there, which is an awesome thing to walk through. Pikes Peak Marcus, like I said. The gum wall is neat and gross at the same time.
It sounds like it.
Yeah, it's kind of gross. I mean, people just kind of leave their fucking gum lying on this wall. I don't know who decided that was cool, but that's what they do. And every so often they clean it off, and then all of a sudden it's a clean wall, and everybody gets to stick their gum to it again. Like I said,
And imagine how many
gross.
people travel just to do that.
I'm sure plenty.
Yeah, I'm sure the list is long.
But at the same time, while we're out there last time, we did a tour of Lumen Field. I think it was still Quest Field at the time where the Seahawks play. I thought the neatest part about that was, and if you follow me on the socials, I got a picture of me standing behind the podium there in the press room where I'm like, yeah, I'm trading Russell Wilson and this guy to the Browns for a fifth. And now
I can't believe you wanted Russell Wilson.
Well, this was like the year after he won the Super Bowl.
So what's he gonna say? It's Browns country, let's ride.
That's right. You got to be careful about riding in Browns country.
It's Browns country. Let's throw bottles. What?
One time at a terrible referee.
Hey, it's not Philly. It ain't like you're gonna burn down your city.
Well, they did. The river was on fire.
How can you make water burn?
Leave it to Ohioans.
Well, I guess it's Cleveland. You never know what's in the water.
Much love, Cleveland. Much love. Preach.
You and your 5 quarterbacks this year.
Well, Deshaun don't count. He can't play.
He counts. He's on the payroll, sir.
Yeah, but he can't play. He's going to be on the PUP list, so he's not even going to be there. He's going to be paid to leave the other 4 alone.
So which one's going to be starting?
I think we will see I think one's going to get traded in the preseason. I don't know which one. It won't be Flacco. My guess is probably Kenny Pickett goes somewhere in the preseason. Which will leave Flacco and the 2 rookies. If that's the case, I think we'll see all 3 of them at one point or the other. We'll see Flacco to start. Browns lose a couple games, drop below 500, then we'll start seeing the rookies.
So what you're saying is when the Browns do what the Browns do, they're going to rotate some quarterbacks in.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've only had 40 since 2001. What's in our 3?
So what about the Tim Couch saying, number 2 was off limits?
I guess I didn't hear that. I know Shador couldn't be number 2 because somebody else, one of the veterans who signed
first, yeah.
Yeah, he took number 2. So I don't think Couch would have cared. I liked Couch. I was on the Couch side of the Couch Holcomb argument. Obviously, it didn't work out. As a guy who has a bum shoulder himself, I get it. Shoulders go bad. He couldn't throw a ball again. I get it. he was ruined. It wasn't like the expansion teams that the Jaguars and the Panthers got to build. The Browns were basically punished. Like, they had nothing to fucking start. And
No, I get it.
You signed Couch, and we had an offensive line that consisted of you and me and 3 fence posts and a rookie quarterback running for his life.
Yeah, that's how it goes in Cleveland, though. Whenever you guys start making headway, the office sells your franchise out from underneath of you every time. I don't know how Myles Garrett didn't leave.
It's called money. He got a lot of it.
Yeah, but he said he didn't care about money and he wanted to go, and then all of a sudden money brought him back.
Well, I respect the shit out of Myles. I think he's a hell of a player. Realistically, the Browns can't afford to. They literally could not afford to trade him. We wouldn't have had the money on the salary cap because everything we had paid him in advance would have fallen into this year, and we'd been over the salary cap. We couldn't trade him. It was impossible.
No, I get it. It's a rough business. I'm glad I don't have to do their books.
So, speaking of football, the world has a Pope from Chicago before we have a Bears quarterback that throws for over 4,000 yards.
So, I saw the perfect meme for this one. And you remember the Saturday Night Live skit with the Bears, right?
Pope.
So they're all sitting around and they're like, "Well, is the Pope going to answer to God or to Ditka?" The other guy goes, "Ditka is God," and then they all go, "Duh, Pope." So
how would you feel? Here you are, you're this Pope from Chicago, right? And you take a position, and I believe it's at like Long Beach, California. He's ready to retire. He's 69. He goes to California where he's kind of going to retire, right? The Pope dies, and everybody else says, "You know what? You're moving to fucking Italy. You are now the Pope."
I'm pretty sure that when you become a Pope, it's like becoming number one in the Popies to go to the Vatican and be the Pope. I mean, it's what you're shooting for. And from just looking at a little bit of the background that I've seen come out, he's been trying for this for a while, and that's why he went to the places that he went, and he specializes in the certain things that he does.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because he wasn't just hanging out in the United States the entire time. He's been to other places.
I know he speaks 5 languages: English, Italian, Greek, like all that shit.
Yeah, he was just born here.
Yeah, and like I'm not a religious person, but I think, there's a lot of people are. Hopefully he brings in an attitude that is going to help people be good people. And that's really what's important, is be a good person.
I think that it needs to change over there, and this might be what it needs, is an outside perspective from the normal culture that they get in there. Honestly, somebody that's not tied up in all the bullshit that's going on overseas as much.
It'll be fun to see what he picks out for Pope-mobiles, because every Pope gets their own Pope-mobile. So I'm hoping we see a black Cadillac Escalade.
You can get yours in a 6'4". I'll get mine in a big black truck.
There we go.
So it'd be great if he opened up the archives underneath the Vatican so we can actually learn what happened on this planet for once.
That would be amazing, but it will never happen.
No.
So your and mine favorite way to communicate right now? TikTok.
What's that?
Yours and mine favorite way to communicate with each other? TikTok.
I don't know how much communication's happening, but we send a lot of shit back and forth.
Yes, we do. Have you seen the Yellowstone National Park's TikTok page?
I have not.
All right, you need to look this up.
Isn't it buffalo season for tourists? Because it's tourist season for the buffalo, and they've been looking forward to it for quite some time.
So it borders on being almost pornographic.
How can it be pornographic with buffalo? No,
it's great. It's hilarious. They put on there, I can't remember exactly what the quote was, but it was something like Yellowstone National Park, the edging king since 1923. Just completely inappropriate jokes. As a 46-year-old
are they inappropriate though?
As a 46-year-old man with a 13-year-old sense of humor, they're fantastic.
Who are the people that go to Yellowstone? It's about our age of people.
Well, yeah. Have you been to Yellowstone?
I have
Yellowstone to
I
me
think
was
I've clipped it for a second, but I didn't stay there long on
so
one of our travels.
so Yellowstone to me was awesome. I've been through there a couple times. I would say like we went there on our way to Washington driving from Iowa. So we drove through Nebraska, which sucks, through 90% of Wyoming, which sucks, until
Let's make sure that
Jackson
we say
Hole.
that Nebraska's football team also sucks, not just the state
Well,
that we're driving through.
my daughter's 16 months away from going to UNL, so I will not say.
I went to school there too.
But yeah, so we go from Jackson Hole and we would go north, and that would put us through the Grand Tetons National Park and into Yellowstone. One of the most underrated things I think I've ever seen was Old Faithful. TV doesn't do it justice. It's kind of like Mount Rushmore. Like, you've seen it and you think, oh yeah, that'll be cool for a second, and then what the fuck am I going to do? You see it in person and it's kind of amazing. Both of those things, Old Faithful, Mount Rushmore, it's just kind of awe-inspiring. Like, one's completely natural, one's completely man-made. So they're two different things that they're amazing for, but just truly amazing things to look at. And then Yellowstone itself there's so much going on. You got the lakes that you don't want to touch because they're so full of sulfur they will kill you. The hot springs that not just Old Faithful, but the other hot springs that spout throughout.
Weren't those what it exploded on TikTok? The Old Faithful or the hot springs that exploded, started shooting shrapnel at people on the walkways and stuff.
That would have been the hot springs. Old Faithful goes off like every, I don't know, 67 minutes or some shit like that. It's like clockwork. They know exactly when it's going to go. But yeah, I think it was the hot springs. There's like this boardwalk so you can walk through the area.
Yeah.
And see it. And yeah, I believe it was.
I think that's what it was. Yeah.
Honestly, so driving to Seattle and back as many times as we have, we will take 80 out. We go up through Yellowstone and then we get on 90 and take that into Washington. And then coming home, we usually take 90 all the way to Sioux Falls and down 29. 90 coming through South Dakota, you get to go through Deadwood, Rapid City, which includes Mount Rushmore and all of that. Also off of 90 in, I think it's in Wyoming, actually. 90 on Wyoming is much more interesting than 80, I will say that. Devil's Tower. Have you ever seen Devil's Tower?
I have not. I have not been up there on a sightseeing tour.
I do not know how to describe Devil's Tower other than imagine you cut a redwood tree off and then supersize it by 1,000.
See, and that's what a lot of the theories are, is that it's a ancient fossilized tree from back when
I don't remember
the oxygen levels were different.
I don't remember exactly how tall it is or what the diameter on it is, but it looks like a tree trunk. It's it's really quite amazing what this world has as far as things you can see. That everybody wants to make fun of Americans because we don't travel the world. We don't need to travel the world. We have everything we want to see right here in the States.
Well, if you broke up America like you did Europe, we'd have like 19 countries. I mean, or more, probably, or more. So that's what the British people keep saying that come over here, like the guy on TikTok. He's like
Josh or Jace. I like watching them.
Yeah,
they're good.
Yeah, and they're like, we see why you never leave, because we're trying to travel to all the states, and each state should be its own individual country.
So there you go. There's your assignment for the week. Try to get Josh and Jace on our podcast with us.
Yeah, that's my assignment for the week, huh?
Yep.
You think you can dole those out and I can just magically wave a wand and get these people?
Well, I would try, but I got 40 hours of work coming up this week, so.
And I don't. Evidently.
I don't know. I've mythically heard you've worked. So anyways, when we drive back from Washington, we usually take 90. We go through Missoula, which Amy has a cousin that lives there. She actually lives in like Florence, I think, which is like 15 miles south of Missoula or some bullshit. Maybe it's further than that. I don't know. But then we'll take 90 all the way through until South Dakota into Sioux Falls and then down 29. Montana is fucking huge.
Yes, it is.
Huge.
Were you there before or after they allowed the speed limit change?
It was after, but they didn't really enforce it. I'm driving back. I got my family and I think my mother-in-law too. She's taking a lot of vacations with us. It's been all right. And I am literally driving 90 on Interstate 90, right? And up in the median, I see someone parked, and I'm like, fuck. So I try to slow down. I maybe got down to maybe the 80s at that point. I wasn't slamming on the brakes, but I wasn't, I didn't want to look like I was doing 90. And as I'm slowing down, I get my fucking doors blown off by a fucking sports car. Had to be doing at least 105. And the cop saw me drive by and literally just waved to me and let me go. They weren't enforcing it. It was during daylight, though. I assume nighttime is probably more highly enforced. I mean, we were in an area of fucking Montana where there's fucking nothing. I understand why they went to no speed limits for some of those areas because there's fucking nothing. So anyways, yeah, then I drive through Montana at, Mach 3. And you go into Wyoming, and they drop the speed limit to 65. And, of course, I'm not driving 65 and get a speeding ticket.
Yeah, Wyoming's a difficult transition in many occasions.
Yeah, so fuck Wyoming in particular. But, I mean, I get it. But, yeah, so I've had a lot of good drives back from there, especially on I-90. We've taken I-90 out before and hit like Wall Drug, and there's like this car museum somewhere out there. I can't remember where it was at, but they have this, like, for lack of a better term, it's like a 1950s, I don't know, it's probably like a Chrysler convertible that they've stretched out to, I don't know, 60 feet long as a yard sign. For being so boring in some of those areas, it's really awesome at the same time. Deadwood was kind of cool. It was cool to go through. The Black Hills was actually, or the Badlands National Park, right? I mean, it's like, I don't know, maybe it's an hour, half hour south of I-90 in between Rapid City and Sioux Falls. Another one of those things you think, what the fuck am I going to see here? Why do I even want to go through this? And you get there and it's like awe-inspiring. It's like, fuck, that's awesome. It's kind of like a mini Grand Canyon, and I mean mini. I mean, but it's just insane. It's shit you just don't see around here.
It's not the everyday little river running through something. You actually have a bit of a drop off to it.
Yeah, it was really quite interesting.
Have you been to the Grand Canyon?
No, I have not been to the Grand Canyon.
So I want to take my Jeep through there at some point, but I may have to make somebody else drive.
Because you want to look at everything?
No, it's because I'd be too afraid to drive off the edge because you're literally... So one of the Jeep Badge of Honor trails goes through the inside edge of the Grand Canyon to where if you go too far to the left, you go off and roll down into it. So...
Well, that would be a badge you don't want then.
Well, I think it is.
Well, I mean, not if you get the badge that means you fell in.
No, you don't get a badge for that. You have to complete the whole thing without doing that to get a badge.
It'd be more fun if they had people like rappel down the Grand Canyon and like put a bumper sticker on the Jeeps down there that didn't make it. So rim failure.
They still owe me a badge from the Black Gap in Texas, but they won't give it to me for some reason. I don't know. Yes, I said it's called the Black Gap, and it's in Big Bend National Park.
So
yeah. Keep going, keep laughing. That's what it's called. And I have videos. I have videos of me driving it as well, driving it home in the Black Gap.
Oh, that's awesome.
And if you look on your phone and you type in Black Gap.
Yeah, I'm not typing Black Gap into my phone.
In Big Bend, right? See if I can get it to Black Gap Road, right there. Black Gap.
There you go.
There you go. It's legitimate. It is not anything else. And how hard is the Black Gap Trail is also one of the things that comes up. And it says it's moderately challenging.
Depends on how much alcohol has been served.
So, since we're on the Black Gap, we might as well just keep pounding it onto the screen real quick.
So we're going back to the Yellowstone National Park TikTok page, it sounds like.
So that's what we're doing?
Apparently.
Huh, no. So I actually I'd owned my Jeep for, I think, a month before I put a lift kit on it. And the second the lift kit was on it, we went to Big Bend National Park, drove it down there to get my Jeep badge of honor, because that's what I was obsessed with at the time. And we went to Big Bend National Park and took it out to Black Gap and went through the off-road section with a Jeep that's 21 hours away from home. So if anything broke, I couldn't go home anyway. So
that's a bold choice.
But the road couldn't have been too horrible, because we were going in from one side where at one point there was 3 tires on the ground and one 200 feet off the ground at the same time, because there was a washout and you had to come up and down and drop it onto a ledge. And then you went through super high whoopties with a big drop off on your left. That was the hardest part of the whole thing, to be honest. And it wasn't that hard because shortly after that, there was a motorcycle that had wrecked right in front of us. And there was an ambulance that some guy was bringing from the other direction that wasn't an ambulance anymore, but it was still set up like one, that made room to put the motorcycle in the back. And then we had just enough room to get around each other and keep going on this thing.
Nice.
So
if you were to give an approximate count, how many rubber ducks do you have?
5, and none of them are in my Jeep.
Do you ever just do people just randomly leave them on your Jeep? Like, oh, here's a rubber duck for you.
They do not. They do not leave them on my Jeep. They do not leave them on Jeeps that do not have them in the front.
I see. So as not a Jeep owner myself, I don't know the rigmarole that goes with the Jeep.
You don't understand the ducks?
I don't understand why they have the ducks. Let's put it that way.
Or how the ducks started.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Well, I do know, but I don't want to screw it up, so hang on a second. We will type in how did rubber duckies, because I do know, but I just don't want to
fuck up the story.
Yeah, because it actually has something important to it. So the Jeep ducking tradition began in 2020 when Allison Parliament placed a rubber duck on another Jeep as a gesture of kindness and a way to brighten someone's day during the pandemic. This act of goodwill sparked a viral trend, with Jeep owners across the globe adopting the practice and placing rubber ducks on each other's vehicles, symbolizing a shared love of the Jeep and sense of community. So since then, it turned into, I believe, a foundation, to where if you buy the Jeep ducks from the actual person that started it, all proceeds go to nonprofits.
Nice.
I believe. But so that's how it started, was a sense of community in 2020 when you couldn't talk to people or see people.
So I didn't realize it was that new of a thing, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I thought maybe this was something that had been around forever and I just never heard of it.
No, that's when it started, was 5 years ago in the pandemic. That's why I didn't want to screw it up, because I knew there was meaning behind it and I didn't want to poop the bed on that one.
That's fair.
But
there
I mean,
go. There's the next guest, the founder of the Jeep duck tradition. Coming up on the next exciting episode of Frosty Dingy, let's talk rubber ducks.
Rubber ducky, you're the one.
Rubber ducky, you're the one.
Keeping so much fun. But no, actually, to be honest, I looked over to my left and I remembered I have a bag of 200 rubber ducks sitting over there.
Are they all the same rubber duck, or is it random rubber ducks?
They're random.
I didn't know if maybe you had a go-to rubber duck that you like to give out, like one that's like wears a Bears jersey. Or...
I have not given out a rubber duck ever, but I have received, like I said, 5 of them, and I have Michelangelo, and I got the turtle ducks, all the turtles, and then I have Marty McFly.
I like that one. That one must be kind of cool, actually.
And they're all of those are still in the box. And then the other one that I got was left on my door handle by Manderson, because I didn't have a duck yet, and I'd owned a Jeep for like 3 years.
I got you.
But it's in my console. It's not up on my dash. And I'm sure if I put it on the dash, I'd get more ducks because I have a nice Jeep.
You have one of the 4 doors. Is it the pickup style one, or is it the?
It's not the Gladiator. It's a Rubicon
All right.
4-door. And it has been a lot of off-road places. I just don't get the badges because for some reason, Jeep won't give them to me.
Well, that's fucking bullshit.
I know. I'm even a member of the Badge of Honor Club, and they just won't let me have them.
Come on, Jeep, get on it.
I know. I've sent them multiple emails, and, you know, it could be because the first time I sent an email, I may or may not have been able to speak English.
So you were drunk.
I had the Crown Royal Peach had just come out.
Oh.
And we were in Terlingua, Texas, drinking the shit out of it.
So I want to go off topic here. We all know my favorite local pizza parlor, 600 yards to the, not even like that, 200 yards to the west of me, also happens to serve gasoline.
Gasolina.
I, of course, have the app. That way I can try to get cheap gas out of there because there's really no place else in town. And they got this current thing going on right now where you can do like a scratch-off ticket. And the other day I won a free Dr. Pepper, which is cool.
You can do a scratch-off ticket at the Casey's?
Yeah, if you have the Casey's app, like every day you can do this scratch-off ticket and you get something free and it saves it. And so like I won a free Dr. Pepper, and when I went to the counter, I had to take it. They scanned it. When they scanned my rewards, it said, "Hey, free Dr. Pepper," and they didn't charge me. I had to pay the nickel for deposit. That was it. If you don't have the Casey's app, it's actually worth it.
So did you take the Dr. Pepper and put it on your brisket?
No, I took the Dr. I took the Dr. Pepper and gave it to the lovely Mrs. Parker because I'm smart. But anyways,
And you gave her an orange shirt. Good job.
We have all these graduation parties that we are going to right now because it's that season. And we're giving out Casey's gift cards. I guess I shouldn't say the place.
Why? I can say
know.
Casey's.
Anyways.
Casey's ain't going to sue us for anything horrible yet.
Fair. And so at the end of all these, I'm cutting up all of these, the receipts to go with the gift cards in case there's a problem, right? And at the bottom, there's one of those surveys. They're like, "Hey, do this survey. You can win $500." I'm like, "All right, cool. I'll do the survey." I am notoriously hard on Casey's.
No shit.
But the reason why is I used to love the barbecue beef pizza, and they got rid of it. It is fucking gone. You can't get it anymore.
They have brisket pizza right now.
Yes, which they are touting. "Oh, we listen. We're bringing it back." So I am going on the world famous Frosty Dingy podcast and saying, "Casey's, bring back the barbecue beef pizza." I might be the only person who wants it. I will go on TikTok and I will make my own barbecue beef pizza and say, "Hey, Casey's, you're missing this." I will call out Casey's on every chance to try to get back the barbecue beef pizza and the barbecue beef sub, which was also fantastic.
You don't like their new pork sliders or whatever they are?
It's fine. It's not the barbecue beef. The barbecue beef was great. Remember when Casey's got into subs too, like try to compete with Subway, and you could
still have subs.
They still have subs, but you can't like go order one.
Yes, you can.
But not my local one, I don't think.
You have to order them online, and then they're made when you get there.
Huh? Okay.
You can't just walk in and get one because they don't have somebody at the counter. I mean, you can tell them, "Hey, I want a sub," and they'll go make you one. But
all right. Well, I guess that's good to know. Because
if you order them online as a pickup order, they'll make you a sub.
Nice. All right. Maybe I'll have to try that because we got Subway in town. That's fine. But goddamn, it's 150 yards away down the hill. Like I could roll down to it. I could trip over a shoelace. I could trip over a shoelace that leave in my driveway and end up in the Casey's parking lot.
Yeah.
It's too damn convenient.
And you really need to just start using the online app that you get your rewards from.
Well, and I do use the online app. And here we go. Casey's, if you're listening, you have a glitch in your app. There's a glitch in the matrix. I ordered a gluten-free pepperoni pizza the other day, right? Gluten-free pepperoni pizza. And somehow the app, even though I didn't tell it to, made it no sauce, no cheese. So I send the kids to pick up the pizzas, and Charlotte, my daughter, type 1 celiac, opens up the pizza, and there's gluten-free crust and pieces of pepperoni. No sauce, no cheese. And that's exactly what it showed on the ticket, how it was ordered. And I can guarantee you, I did not order it no sauce, no cheese.
Yeah, but if you click the gluten-free option, does it automatically go to that and you didn't alter the order?
No, it doesn't. There's something in when it gets ordered. I don't know what it is. I had this happen one other time and I forgot, and they literally called me. I had this call from Casey's, and I'm like, why are they calling me? I just ordered. And one of their pizza makers called me and said, hey, I just want to verify this, please. And so
Yeah,
I
because
did.
how do you get just a crust and pepperoni and nobody asks questions?
Right. And so that is literally what happened. And I'm like, are you fucking serious? So, Casey's, fix your app.
And me, I haven't, I used to love Casey's, but now I just don't eat it because I can't. And it has nothing to do with them or anything they do. I still get all my gas there. I still get my Fireball there because it comes in a little fun shot. So it comes in these sizes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would say I love their Rooster's Call coffee.
I don't drink coffee, so you're going to have to enlighten me on how that tastes.
It tastes like coffee, but it's highly caffeinated. I do not like energy drinks. I don't drink them typically. If I'm super tired and I have to stay awake, I will use an energy drink because I don't drink them enough that it actually does do an effect on me. But generally speaking, I am coffee only. And they have this Rooster's Call high caffeine coffee. I usually get the large. They have like the pump creamer. I usually do like 2 quick pumps where it's maybe like a half of a packet, like the creamer packets that you can, not the packets, like the whatever the hell they are. So maybe it's like half of one of those that I put into it, and I put 2 of the yellow sugars, the fake sugars in, and the rest is just coffee. So there's some sugar, very little cream, and like all caffeine, and it's fantastic. I do fully support their coffee right.
So it sounds like it's close to right along the lines of how you took your coffee in college too. Just 2 quick pumps and you were good.
Yeah. If they
Just
got
saying.
lucky.
Yeah. So I'm glad we found common ground with Casey's now.
That's
right. You actually enjoy part of Casey's.
Yes, the coffee.
And only the coffee. You don't like their gas and their rewards and
it's
I enjoy the rewards program. I use it every now and then, but I rack up the points. I just don't ever remember to spend them.
Well, so driving my 2013 F-150, it's a fuel monster. It's got a 32-gallon tank. And gas prices, it's expensive. So I occasionally
gas prices aren't that bad.
They're not that great. Still
$2.69 to $3 a gallon.
Yeah, $2.89.
It ain't like they're $5 a gallon like they were.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. 2007, 2008 was bad.
Yeah.
But still not cheap.
No. And they should come down, but
well, yeah, it should, because oil has never been cheaper. But yeah, if I can get 20 gallons of fuel for free, because so I always make sure. In fact, I almost want to just print off a copy of my 3D barcode. That way they can just continue to scan it without having to pull it up on my phone every day. Because I hate typing in my phone number. So every time when I go into the Casey's, I have my phone up and I hit the 3D barcode thing. That way they can just scan it, which is 10 times easier.
I don't even type mine in. I make them do it.
Well, you're a real dick. So anyway,
they're just like, do you have rewards? I'm like, yep. And I start rattling off and they start poking the screen.
Yeah, no, I literally just pull up the app on my phone. There's the 3D barcode thing. They scan it. It's done.
Yeah. They got to earn their money. I'm just saying. That's how it is.
They got a deal with you. They earn their money.
And every now and then, people behind the counter, I'd really like to have my phone number.
Yeah.
They never call it, but they type it in real fast.
That's right.
And look at me funny, because that's how it goes. You look like you're falling asleep again.
Well, I tell you what, it's 8:15. We've been on here for a couple hours.
Yep. Gonna call her a day on the Casey's talk?
Yeah, I think so. We got anything else fun to talk about?
We got lots of stuff fun, but we'll save it for next time.
It's called Frosty Dinghy. and I'm the dolphin, and you're the flounder.
Well, I guess. I think it should be Dr. Parker, but
It's called Frosty Dinghy, and I'm the dolphin, and you're the flounder.